guys, gonna keep it quick because some of these videos I end up rambling on for ages, but today I'm not in the mood for that, so we're gonna get to the point. We're talking about Kurt Cobain today. I know what you're gonna say already.
Who is this guy? He's not Kurt Cobain. He thinks anyone can sing like Kurt Cobain. He's one of a kind. He's a legend.
And that's true, he is. So do not fear, fanboys. I'm just here to kind of listen to his voice, appreciate his voice. Gonna play some isolated vocals so you can hear him raw without the music. And as a singer myself, you know, I've worked with the likes of Tim Ripper Owens, I've sang live with Steel Panther. I've had some cool people kind of introduce my music videos. Mantis from Venom. We've got, who else have I got? Joey Belladonna from Anthrax. Yeah, lots of people, lots of cool collaborations. I recommend The King of Hearts or Changes in You if you want to check out one of my songs. And they're a good place to start with those ones. But yeah, so I've been singing a long time. I've learned a lot of things. I study a lot of singers, you know, and I learn little things they do. And I'm here today just to hear Kurt Cobain raw and real and kind of tell you what I think he's doing so you can get a kind of Kurt Cobain effect to your voice. So yeah, starting off, I kind of do it in normal terms. I'm not too technical. I just try and give an example of how I'd achieve that voice, and maybe you can do the same. So let's hear, you know, is he a singer that is a proper singer, or is he just kind of a punky, raw kind of, you know, because Kurt Cobain, I don't know, immediately I don't think of him sort of as one of the classic singers we all love, but when I do think of him, I think of him as a distinct voice. I mean, I know a lot of people do love him. That's not what I mean by that. I just mean he's not like George Michael or someone with a voice where you're like, you know, that you sort of admire them for their kind of technique and all that. But Kurt Cobain's got a really sort of unique voice, so that's what made him unique. And I'm kind of here to see, you know, was he doing it deliberate, or was it just him screaming it out and it sounded great kind of thing. So yeah, grunge was a weird period that come in, you know. I'm a late 90s kid, so it's not quite my era, but it's probably around the time I was born, I guess this stuff was coming out. You know, it's, but I love a lot of 80s metal, Judas Priest, all that stuff. I love the heavy metal. I know during that kind of period where grunge was coming in the 90s, Rob Halford of Judas Priest went and did some solo music in a band called Fight, which kind of had some grungy kind of sound, grungy thrash metal, raw kind of stuff. It's not about the look, it's about the music type vibe, which is what I always think Nirvana is, that kind of thing, you know, it's just about the music. You know, I never got into them massively myself, but my wife's called Nirvana, her dad's a huge fan, so I got to do him justice today on this video, because yeah, he named his daughter after his favourite band, so how cool is that? So yeah, I'm going to try my best to do a good job today on this one, but I'm going to keep it fairly short. I'm not going to ramble for too long. I just want to kind of get into it. What is it he's doing? So we're going to stick with the classic track, you know, Smells Like Teen Spirit, because it is a classic, but also he uses all the elements of his voice that we kind of know and love, you know, so let's hear it.
Load up on guns, bring your friends, it's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. I know,
Nice voice
the dirty word. Hello, 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 hello.
So first off, I'm hearing a lot of things. I'm hearing kind of, you know, he's trying to include a bit of that Fry vocal. There was a little voice break in there, which is nice with this kind of rocky, delicate voice. Your voice does break sometimes, but sometimes it adds to the sound, you know. So yeah, he's kind of, load up on guns, bring your friends, it's fun to lose until pretend. Just quite a quiet volume, you know. She's overboard and self-assured. I know, a dirty word. Hello, 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 hello. And he starts projecting it more and the build-up comes in, you know. Hello, 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 hello. So it's kind of an American twang, you know. You kind of hear this in Alice in Chains, very similar voices. You know, that kind of American-y twang, which I like, almost country-ish sort of twang to the voice. But I like how Kurt is kind of building you up to the peak. You know it's going to get pretty full on, you know, it's coming, there's a build-up. So yeah, that kind of load up on guns, and bring your friends. You might notice I'm using a lot of breath because it is a very breathy kind of sound he's creating there. He's kind of, it's almost like he's singing, if you weren't going to be Kurt Cobain about it, you'd sort of sing it like, load up on guns, bring a friend, it's fun to lose and to pretend. So you kind of start off with that kind of airy, it's all here. But with him, he's adding a bit more distortion to it and a bit more attitude, you know. Load up! And he's sort of grating in his throat before it comes out. So, load up on guns, bring your friends. It's fun to lose until pretend. She's overboard, self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. And obviously you're not going to sound exactly like Kurt Cobain. Before the fanboys come after me, who is this guy? He thinks he's Kurt Cobain? He thinks anyone could just sound like Kurt Cobain, the legend, the icon? You know, he's a one-of-a-kind. I know that, guys, so do not fear. But the thing is, when you're trying to get these voices, you've got to experiment with your voice, and that's kind of the way he's singing, you know. It doesn't mean you're going to sound exactly like him, but you can get a Kurt Cobain effect. By the way, I'm in Cancun, it's caliente, it's hot, and yeah, I'll be sweating throughout this video. Just a warning if you're allergic to sweat or something. Right, so yeah, and then like I say, he comes more into a full voice then. Hello, 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 hello. Which is nice, it's kind of a very clean tone, very almost nasally, you know. Which again, that American twang kind of comes into play with that nasally sound. Now let's hear where his voice really kicks in now and see what he's doing there.
Oh, hello,
Hello, hello, hello.
hello, hello, hello. With the lights out, it's just dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I'm Lotto, I'm a Bino.
Anyway, so you get the idea with that. That kind of effect is he's bringing in kind of a full voice, but a grated kind of full voice. So he's not exactly singing in a way that is kind of maybe good for your voice. He's kind of screaming it out kind of thing, but he's got a lot of control, you know. So it kind of switches. Hello, 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 and it starts to add a bit more grit at the end of that. Hello, 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 hello. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us now. It's kind of that kind of voice, you know. I'm a Lotto, an albino, a mosquito, my libido. And I might not be singing that exactly like he is, but it's that kind of power and projection and the kind of force he's putting on his voice, you know.
Contagious. Here we are
And he takes it low there. Here we are. So we kind of on the here we are now. So it's with the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. Or it's gonna here we are now, entertain us. Kind of a lower tone. Yeah, that kind of American. Here we are now, entertain us. And it's very high tone actually for a projected kind of full voice, kind of rock voice. You know, Alice Cooper kind of uses this kind of effect. You know, you're poison, poison running through my veins. 18, I just don't know what I want. And it can be quite a high tone considering it's a rock voice. You kind of don't always think it's going to be so high, but it is a lot of you know, a lot of effort sometimes to sing this kind of stuff, especially with that power, you know. So yeah, the kind of with the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I'm a Lotto, an albino. So yeah, it's really on the edge of your voice. I did a song called Changes in You, which kind of had this effect. If you're English, it had Don Jolly from Trigger Happy TV in the music video, so if you're a fan of him, you might enjoy it. But yeah, it's a cool kind of rock song, and like, you know, I'm like, lost in these changes, the changes in you. I sing it better than that on the album, whatever, on the actual track. You can find it on all the platforms, find it on YouTube as well. But yeah, Metal Matt, Changes in You. If you want to hear me using this kind of this effective voice, I wasn't exactly thinking Kurt Cobain when I did it, but it's that same kind of voice.
Stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertainers. I'm Lotto. I'm a Vino.
So people like Marilyn Manson also use this kind of voice, but also a fry, kind of fry sound like that, you know. Sweet dreams are made of these. And that's quite a delicate kind of fry kind of voice, but this kind of what Kurt's doing here is more like, you know, a full voice kind of sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I? You know, sometimes the Manson uses that, you know. We're the nobodies, wanna be somebodies. We're dead, they know just who we are. And it's not particularly a good thing for the voice. It's quite a lot of force, and you know, depending on the weather, like I say, it's so hot here today. I'm really sweating it out, and particular climates can make it harder to do this, you know, especially if you're out of breath with it kind of thing, you know.
I'm a mosquito.
My mosquito, my libido. So it's kind of good how he can switch between that. He uses kind of that effect of taking it down, taking it up again, you know, which is quite cool, you know.
I do best for this gift. I feel blessed. A
And there's some nice tones of his voice there. In a blast, he kind of keeps it in this tone. Doesn't matter what he's singing, but it's in this kind of voice. So he's kind of bringing it up. He's making it really breathy on the verses, you know, really kind of light sounding, you know. Bring your friends, it's fun to until pretend. By the way, I'm rubbish with lyrics, so don't expect me to get the lyrics right. I'll ramble any old thing, but the thing is about the voice. I'm just trying to get that tone, you know. I like this little voice. He did that a second time there, so that's a deliberate thing he does there. Let's hear that kind of. I don't even know how he does that. It's like just a little voice break.
I'm worse than what I do best, and for this gift I feel blessed. A little group has always been, always will.
It's that been. He kind of has always been, and he does a little break, you know, been, which is quite nice. And I think it's where it's quite nasally. It sounds just been, and then when he goes into the next phrase, it kind of creates that effect, you know.
Blessed. A little group has always been, always will until the end.
Hello, 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 hello. When the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us.
I'm a lotto.
I'm a mosquito.
I'm a mosquito. My libido.
Yeah. So it's that kind of voice break you hear there. Yeah. If you're kind of going really high with it, you'll get those kind of voice breaks, but it can be quite effective. So he uses that kind of thing a lot. But you'll hear the way he kind of goes up and down, even on the bits where he's shouting, he takes it to a lower place, you know. When the lights are... Trying to get the right key a minute. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid. And it's quite nasally on those bits. I feel stupid
bad and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. A mulatto, an albino, a mosquito, my libido, yeah.
So it's quite a kind of aggressive style of voice, and it is kind of just shouting, but in a very controlled way. So, you know, I'm not going to go too deep into this analysis today, but I just wanted to kind of tell you roughly what he's doing with his voice, and, you know, I think I have. It's kind of a real mixture. He's kind of keeping it airy and breathy for a lot of the verses, and he's using that kind of American-y nasally sound, you know, to get that. So he's starting off with a kind of load up, la. You got to kind of go kind of sound. Load up on guns, bring your friends, kind of thing, you know. Load up on guns, but you kind of got to put a bit more force behind it. Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose until pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello, 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 hello. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. A mulatto, an albino, a mosquito, my libido, yeah. Hey, yeah. So you can tell there's like a mixture of load up on guns, quite a nasally sound, but with that airiness to it, you know. Load up. So first find that kind of sound, that gravel in the throat. Load, and you're forcing it kind of upwards, you know, the sound. Load up on guns, and you're keeping it a bit nasally, you know, there's definitely some nasally sound in there. And then there's also some just clean bits. Load up on guns and call your friends. Like your friends is very nice. Your friends, it's fun to lose until pretend he's overboard, self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. So you can hear I'm switching between the two. I'm going into a full kind of strength kind of sound and building up, and then the hello sounds great when you add that kind of distortion in it. You add a bit more fullness to the sound, you know, with the full voice there. Hello, 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 hello. Very nasally, but kind of bit of gravel coming up as well, bit of, you know, proper distortion. Hello, 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 hello. When the lights out, when the lights out, it's less dangerous. So that's right on the edge of your voice. You got to push that really out with your full voice there, and there's a switch, you know. Here we are now, and that's more of a back to a nasally thing, but with more force on it. Here we are now, entertain us, and a lot of control, you know. If you don't sort of really control this voice and put the right amount of force on things, your voice will break, and if you do it over and over, your voice probably will find it a bit hard. There will be a strain on the voice. It's not really a recommended vocal style to sing all the time like this, because it's quite harsh on the voice, you know. And I don't think his technique is particularly like a professional technique where it preserves your voice and things. I think he was just going for it kind of thing, which a lot of rock singers do. So, you know, but there are ways to do it without damaging your voice. So, you know, look into that and try not to. If you feel strain, don't do it, basically, but sometimes you have to achieve the sound, I guess. But yeah, find ways to get around it, maybe find ways where it doesn't strain your voice so much. You know, that's why a lot of singers live may adjust the way they sing to kind of create a different kind of sound, you know. Well, it's to preserve their voice, but it will make things sound a bit different. So a lot of singers just change up the way they sing live to how they did on the album slightly, just to help their voice preserve throughout a whole tour or whatever. Like Freddie Mercury, you might have noticed he did that a lot of different things to kind of still sing amazing but differently, you know. Rob Halford, he kind of has adapted his voice as he's got older to make it still sound as good, but he sings in a completely different way in a lot of examples, you know. So but still by achieving a good sound. So that's something to kind of learn as well. Maybe if you're recording something and you want this effect for your album, go for it, you know. Scream it out, you know, go for it. But if you're doing it live night after night, adapt it, find a way to kind of preserve your voice a bit. I've got some Latina, kind of Spanish, Mexican music going on because I'm here in Cancun. It's always blasting, so I can't really do a serious Nirvana video right now with that going, some romantic Latin songs. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. So I hope you have got something out of that. You know, I've done lots of other videos, how to sing like Rob Halford, how to sing like Alice Cooper, how to sing like Bon Jovi, lots of things like that. Someone's at the door, might be my wife, I'm not sure. Who is that? But yeah, adios amigos, see you soon. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. You're home earlier? I'm doing a video in a minute, so hang on. But yeah, anyway, it's my wife, Nirvana. And why is your name Nirvana?
My dad likes this.
Your dad likes what?
The name.
The name or the band?
The band.
Right. There you go. So I wasn't lying. Right, adios amigos. See you all soon. And keep on rocking. Check out my other videos, how to sing. They're all on the channel. You can check that all out. On the playlist I've got on my homepage, I've got all my music, I've got my how to sing videos, and I've got some of my rock interviews with some rock stars you might know. So lots of cool stuff on the channel to check out. Adios amigos.